Dips like yesterday aren't the end, but the shakeout before the real fun starts. A massive indicator has flashed that Altseason has started, but most traders are missing the signal. Today we're going to see why Altseason is here, and which alts will pump first, and which will follow. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz IO, and as always, is not financial advice, and wish the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Also, make sure to join us for our X Spaces Tuesday to Friday at 10 a.m. EST, link down below. Alright, good morning you guys. So pretty much, again, like last week, the thing we didn't want to happen happened. We had a flush, and we came down, and we broke down, we closed daily candles back inside of this range, which is not ideal. It kind of makes it look like it wants to go back down towards 150,000, because what happened is we took out the top of the range. You can see here, we didn't even close daily candles above the previous all-time high. We wicked above it, and then we came back and down to this range. And so now, to me, it looks like it wants to come down towards $115,000, and then we'll be back in this range right now. But what this doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that altcoin season is over. It actually means the opposite. I do believe as Bitcoin is going to continue going sideways here and then slightly up over the coming days, I do think altcoins are going to take off, which is kind of the theme of today's video. But I do think it is possible that either today we go down, we take out the bottom here towards 115,000, or we just slowly grind back up. But I don't think too much is going to happen today after we had this massive, sell-off yesterday. I think we are just going to kind of chop around towards the weekend as we're going into the weekend now. Usually after big moves like this, we tend to just kind of chop. When we do V-reversal back upwards, we usually then V-reverse right back down. So that's not something we really want to see. We kind of just want to see us chop here. Either we come and take down the bottom of this, range here at 115, or we just slowly grind back up and then make a base here. And then we start closing back above $120,000, which will be good. And we can head back towards new all-time highs again. So now starting off today, we have $2 trillion Wells Fargo, just about $130 million worth of Bitcoin ETF. It's happening. We also have SEC Chair Paul Atkins set to reveal something on crypto tomorrow, which is today. Bold prediction, Project Crypto isn't just about crypto, it's about tokenizing everything. The initiative aims to help financial markets move on-chain, think stocks, bonds, and businesses. We also have Miles Deutscher saying Google searches for altcoins just entered price discovery. Retail interest is coming back. So you can see here, Google Trends, we haven't had retail for pretty much this whole entire market cycle, except for early 2024 when we then immediately sold off as soon as retail got back in. And so now retail is coming back a little bit, it seems, and altcoins are starting to take off, at least on Google search. Then we have Cointelegraph saying Coinbase says the current market conditions signal a potential rotation into a full-scale alt season as Bitcoin dominance falls from 65% to 59%, while the altcoin market cap hits 1.4 trillion in its latest research report. So we have that here. So we have their summary here, and it says our Q3 2025 outlook remains constructive, though our view on an alt season has evolved. We think current market conditions now suggest a potential shift towards a full-scale alt season as we approach September. A common definition for alt season is when at least 75% of the top 50 altcoins by market cap outperform Bitcoin over the preceding 90 days. Many people have debated whether the Fed cuts in September could represent a local top for crypto markets. We don't think so. With the significant retail capital sitting on the sidelines in the money market funds, over $7 trillion, and other places, we think the Fed easing could unlock greater retail participation in the medium term. Focus on ETH, the divergence between a largely subdued alt season index versus 50% growth in the total altcoin market cap since early July largely reflects the increasing institutional interest in ETH. This has been supported by demand from digital asset treasuries and their growing narrative around stablecoins and rolled assets. Tokens like ARB, ENA, Lido, and OP all trade at a higher beta to daily ETH returns. Now enter alt season. Bitcoin's market dominance has declined from 65% in May 2025 to about 59% by August 2025, signaling the early stages of capital rotation into altcoin. CoinMarketCap's altcoin season index currently sits at the low 40s, well below the 75 threshold by which they historically define alt season. And even though the alt market cap has climbed over 50% since early July to 1.4 trillion as of August 12th, we think the current market conditions have started to signal a potential rotation in a full-scale alt season as we head into September. And they go on to say, we think this unprecedented cash stockpile represents missed opportunity costs due to increased uncertainty in traditional markets because of trade conflicts and other issues, expensive market valuations, and lingering concerns about economic growth. However, with Fed cuts looming in September and October, we think the attractiveness of money market funds will start to wane and see capital deployed to crypto and other riskier asset classes. And so the first coin obviously doing well is Ethereum, and with Mr. Crypto saying ETH is being taken off exchanges at a record pace. The supply crunch is coming, so a lot of Ethereum is being taken off and held in self-custody, We have Ted saying recent ETH whale positions on Hyperliquid are mostly longs. While you were panicking, whales bought the Ethereum dip. Now, if we head over to Ethereum, I thought yesterday either we come up and take out the stops above the previous all-time high, or we have a sell-off before then. But this, this rally yesterday was unsustainable with how it was, and so we had this flush yesterday. And I do think it is possible we continue higher with ETH, and it is up almost 2% on the day versus Bitcoin at barely break even. So ETH is looking very good here. I think sooner than later we probably take out all-time highs, which are around $4,800, and we're currently around $4,600. It's possible at New York Open we go a little bit lower possibly, but overall I think over the next week or so ETH does go higher towards new all-time highs, closer to $5,000. And overall ETH is looking good to me. It's just way too extended to get in any kind of position for me right here. The place to buy it would be yesterday on the flush down here towards 44.60. But that time has come. So right now we're kind of just waiting for a little bit more consolidation before we get into a position. But ETH is just very overextended. So I'd be looking to get into different alts. And another alt right now is Cardano. So Cardano's dominance is rising, up over 16.19% over the past 7 days, and currently at 0.85% of the whole crypto market cap. We also have Cardanians saying Bitcoin DeFi is going to be a huge opportunity for Cardano. You have TVL opportunity that's 4 times larger than the market caps of Ethereum and Solana combined. So Charles said this.
You have a TVL opportunity that is 4 times larger than the market caps of Ethereum and Solana combined. That's how big the market is. Single biggest, single most liquid market of anything in our industry, probably forever. The thing about Bitcoin is Wall Street loves it, institutions love it, governments love it, people love it. It's Bitcoin. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be here.
And ADA Whale scooped up 200 million ADA, or 157 million in the last 48 hours, lifting holdings to 10.3% of the supply. And so this was before the flash crash that we had yesterday, the sell-off. And so this happened before then. And since then, Cardano's price is actually even higher. And before we get to that, we have possible reasons why ADA is pumping. One, with the Grayscale spot ETF filing, and approved speculations rose to 75%, and it's attracting institutional interest and boosting investor sentiment. Crypto whales about 157 million worth of ADA, which we know, $71 million in funding approved for upgrades to enhance scalability and DeFi features, and ADA is breaking its long-term downtrend. So we have ADA here, which we were saying yesterday. If you remember, I was saying, if we get any kind of dump or flash dip, this is the area you want to scoop it up at, anywhere between here and here. We didn't get this low, but actually, if you go to the lower time frames, you can see we actually did come down to this level here, this level of support, and so we went down towards 90 cents. So if anyone got into that, that's great. But you can't even see it on the daily chart. It doesn't even look like we retested it. That's how strong Cardano has been compared to other altcoins. So I think we're going back towards $1.13 very quickly. I think Cardano wants to go up here and retest this, and I think we're probably heading towards these highs around $1.32 soon afterwards. So Cardano, one of the strongest. If we get any more kind of consolidation, if we somehow come back down towards this level, anywhere here, I think this is a great trade, but I think we got that yesterday. And Cardano is one of the strongest ones because you can only see the retest of it on the 4-hour, which we had here, and then instantly bought back up. So Cardano whales are scooping up and they want to send this much higher. This is what I was talking about. Anytime, once we get past this, this downtrend, which we've had, where we're in Cardano, here, once we get above here, it tends to fly pretty quickly, which is why it's always good to get into this area, because we start to then make these lower highs or higher lows and higher highs. And so this is the peak area to get in right here. And so that is what is happening with Cardano right here. We've finally broken this multi-month, downtrend here in consolidation. And now we're starting to break above, and I'm sure this is going to fly back to these highs pretty quickly. So Cardano looking great here. I'd like to get back in any trade here. We'll have to see if that happens over the weekend. And then for another altcoin, which is about to break out, we have Ondo Finance. And so the SEC has recognized the potential of tokenization, and the SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce recently signaled on Bloomberg that the SEC is willing to work with firms on U.S. equity tokenization.
And that's a point that you've made in the past, that tokenized securities are still securities. You do have some firms, I'm thinking of Robinhood, for example, rolling out tokenized stock trading. I believe that's taken hold in Europe. So, do you see that as a potential area where you could run into some of these confrontations over firms trying to really regulate and innovate and introduce measures such as that, but potentially coming up against some of these regulations that you're putting in place?
Well, without talking about any particular firm's approach, I think the bottom line is that we encourage firms to come in and talk to us. We expect that there will be some different approaches taken to tokenizing, and we're looking forward to working with folks to try those different models out and see what the market's like. And see whether or not tokenization of equity securities takes hold. I mean, that really will ultimately be up to the market. What our message is that we're willing to work through different potential models with people.
And we also have not telling saying the SEC will start allowing tokenized stocks in the US, then Coinbase implements tokenized stocks powered by Ondo. It'll happen. And we also posted this recently saying, this is why we're so bullish on Ondo. It was recently featured in the White House Digital Asset Report, so I don't think it's going away anytime soon. And the fact that it's featured here in the White House Digital Asset Report is very bullish. Now, Ondo is still in this level of accumulation, this kind of sideways accumulation that we just talked about with Cardano, where we broke this downtrend and now we're accumulating here. So we're kind of in that right here. We're in this level of accumulation. You could take a long if we do come back here towards 93 cents, or the ideal situation is once we do get back above this 122 level, I think this is where Cardano is pretty much at right now. We're going to fly back to these highs pretty quickly. So you could wait for a, an easier long if you wanted back above here around $1.21, or you could take a potential long here around 92 cents if we get it today, if the market wants to continue heading a little lower, if Bitcoin wants to go down towards 115,000. You could take this long with stops below 84-ish cents right here, this wick down here. Or you could just wait for a much easier long, which is another possibility where we are breaking back above this level. Because I think once we do break above this level, we're probably going back towards these new highs pretty quickly. And I'm sure that will happen with everything happening with Ondo in the US. And then lastly for today, we have Ali Charts and Say. And Say is on the brink of a 160% bull rally towards 90 cents. So he shares this chart where we've broken this major downtrend. This is kind of happening with a bunch of alts. This happened with Cardano. This happened with different alts where we finally break this huge downtrend and we start retesting this level, and then we rally pretty hard. And so we also have not telling saying Say needs to be on your watch list. Say chart showing a bullish retest of the range we just broke out of. Say's recent development gives it Solana level speeds with Ethereum development tools. 3 days ago, Say dApps crossed 1 million unique active wallets in 24 hours for the first time ever. More users, more liquidity, and stronger price action. 500 million was just transferred into Say's ecosystem via Stargate Finance. The stablecoin market cap on Say is up 34% in the last week to 290 million. It's only a matter of time before the TVL going well over $1 billion, currently at 636 million. And so like we talked about, Say is at that level where it broke out of this, multi-month level of accumulation. It broke out and now it wants to retest and continue higher. I think right now, the way Say is playing out, it kind of looks choppy. So I think what will happen is we'll just have kind of the upward chop towards this level of resistance. And so for me, a better play would be to wait for it to reclaim this level of 37 cents, something like this. And then I'd be interested because right now it's just kind of, it's going up, but it's very choppy and it's kind of annoying to play. It's not like this where we reclaim the level and we instantly pop to the next level of resistance. It's kind of this upwards chop where it's going up, but it's kind of annoying to be in the position watching it go up and down. So for me, I'd wait for this level here. I'd wait for something like this, wait for it to reclaim, go back towards these next levels, and I'd wait for something along those lines to be entering into Say. But overall, I think it's going to be like Cardano. It's breaking above this level. There's a lot of air here, and it'll go towards these new highs again soon. And just like they were saying, it's broken this multi-month, year level of resistance. I think they had it like this, something like that. I don't usually use these trend lines too much like this, but you can kind of see what they're talking about, where you break above the trend line and then you retest and then you continue higher. It's a little bit subjective to me, but overall, a lot of the TA kind of lines up and shows you the same thing. So I like Say, I like it above 37 cents. And if we can get there, in the coming days, if Bitcoin wants to hold up a little bit stronger, or at least just go sideways and can rally, I think we'll see Say pop towards this 54 level. And then he was saying 90 cents, which is way up here. I could see it going there at some point. It wouldn't be my first target. My first target would be 55 and then towards 72. Those would be my targets in the midterm, and there'd be multiple trades probably. So I probably wouldn't just hold it straight to here. It'd be something like this. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. That's at a later date. This is still right here. This is a 94% run from 37 cents to 72 cents. So we're going to take this trade first and see what happens. But that is the video for today, guys. I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't like how it came back down here and it's kind of selling off right now. But I think what most likely will happen is we're kind of having a drop in Bitcoin dominance. And I think the drop in Bitcoin dominance will, help altcoins run. So if we go down to here towards, $115,000 today, if you can do this and then kind of go sideways, I think also probably run over the weekend or into next week and going into September with hopefully rate cuts as well. The whole reason we dropped yesterday was the PPI news. PPI coming in really bad and the numbers were terrible, which means potentially there's a less of a chance of a September rate cut. but I still do think we do have a September rate cut. I don't think it's going away. I think either September, October, and when that does happen, I think also will especially run, and that's what Coinbase is thinking as well in their their huge report that they just launched here. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on Monday.